That's
athletic events should take place at like 9 a.m. Let's just play games and let's just get it over with.
I love the afternoon games. If you can win on a Saturday afternoon, and that way when you go home, you just see your name on the bottom of the ticker, and the rest of the day, that's cool. We ready? Well, really excited about this weekend. One, it's a chance to honor a number of teams, the Missouri Valley champions from 50 years ago, from 20 years ago, and from 10 years ago. And we have a function tonight to get to be around all of those guys, a social event. So to see people who've contributed and invested in Shocker basketball, and then I know the guys from 50 years ago who played here and won a Missouri Valley championship. They are in that same stratosphere of investment in Wichita State as Mike Kennedy. So a chance to offer Mike after 46 years of service. And Kevin Saul shared with me the ticket sales. I know there last week, I think it was, you could get a general admission ticket for $12. Now you get two of them for $21. So we're getting cheaper. My daughters, both of my daughters, when they played volleyball, like they would charge you $15 just to go in and watch that little 30-minute match. So heck of an opportunity here to get people who've really been impacted not only by these teams but by Mike, and a chance to honor him. But there will be a good basketball game going on, as well as you have us and Temple just amongst the top 5 in the conference, and being able to play those guys. My time here, they've had our number. We played twice there. We've only played them once here during my first year. So excited for the opportunity to play a really good team, and to do it in what's going to be a great crowd.
And then kind of on that, what's it been like to work with and alongside Mike Kennedy these last 3 years?
Yeah, when you take a new job, you just don't know who people are or what they do. And I know God says to love your enemies. I do not do a good job of that. So you're kind of navigating the world of like, let's see who is actually invested in the program and want to see you succeed. And you don't know that when you get to certain places. Mike Kennedy is as excited as he could be about the prospect of winning the next game, and he is fully invested. I've asked him a lot of questions over the years to find out who did he enjoy watching, what were the teams that he enjoyed watching, what's the reasoning behind it. But there is nobody who's been more gracious and more kind to me during my time here, and we've had scenarios where we lost a bunch, especially in my first year. When I look at year 1 to year 3, I think it's a 14-game difference at this same mark. What did we play? 27 games. I think we were 11-16 2 years ago, and now 17-10. So just being 6 games under 500 to I guess 13 to 7 games over. It's just one of those scenarios where his approach is the same every single time. Like, he doesn't treat you any differently, when you win or when you lose. And I really appreciate the fact that there's a level of sensitivity there, that he gets that. And he's just a genuine guy who is just like, I can't say enough good things about Mike Kennedy, and it's no wonder that he's had the success and the impact that he's had.
And then to kind of follow up with that, what do you think it'll be like once he's retired?
I don't know. I'll see who's asking me the questions on the other side, but I think there's a lot of Shocker fans who've gotten used to a familiar voice. My daughter, who's a freshman in college, when she travels or doesn't have access to ESPN, she's in her car, she listens to Mike, and she'll often tell me, I enjoy listening to Mr. Kennedy more than I do actually the ESPN announcers. So not that those ESPN announcers, she's not talking about Bob, so if Bob hears this, don't take offense, Bob. Shane too. But if she can't get to a TV, like she enjoys listening to Mike. And for those of us who were born in the previous century, Owen, unlike you, for those of us who were born in the previous century, you listen to games on the radio. You listen to baseball on the radio. You listen to basketball. You listen to sporting events on the radio. And you became really used to those voices. And he's a voice that a lot of people are used to hearing. And again, he's just been phenomenal with me, and just like a professional who's also a gentleman.
And what do you make of KG's just knack for just insane, we saw at the USF game, just comes up with that steal and layup, the 4-point play, the steal and the jumper. Does he just have kind of a knack for just like crazy plays like that?
Yeah, I would tell you that he is the most confident player in the room, and that kind of spills over to other people. I've shared with you before, he encourages guys to take shots that aren't necessarily aligned with the coaching staff. And so we have to educate KG on some of what we're trying to get done in order to be efficient. But because of his confidence and how much it overflows, I think it pours into other people. But you do have to have, not only do you have to have instincts, you have to have belief. And so you need belief, and you have to have it from people, whatever the score is, whatever the time is. And I would tell you that's just one of those attributes that I gravitate towards. I don't do well with the people who live under the darkness of doom, and that is never him. I enjoy optimistic people. I think there was a study done. I'm going to attribute it to the wrong people, so I'll stay away from it. But so the number one attribute that people have who actually succeed is optimism, and optimism in the face of adversity. As Winston Churchill said, success is going from one failure to another with no loss of enthusiasm. That is KG. KG could miss 5 shots, and he's going to make the next one. But his level of belief, you just gravitate towards people like that, because you know what? You can experience things that don't go your way, understanding that if you'll just stay at it, it'll happen. And he is the epitome of that.
So you could know he was a really good shooter when you were recruiting him. Did you know about his other benefits to having him on the team?
Yeah, one, I knew he loved basketball. And I don't do well with people who like basketball. You have to love it. I've mentioned this before about how the Heat culture, how I think it was Quentin Richardson who said, if you do not like basketball, if you do not love basketball, do not go to the Miami Heat. Like, they only want people who are obsessed. So every time I called him, he was in the gym. Hey, I call him at different hours of the day. Every time I called him, hey, just got done hooping. Hey, coach, I'm about to hoop. Can I call you back? So I knew that instantly struck with me. I don't have any hobbies, so this is all I do. So I try to find people who are obsessed about getting better. And at the same time, he's more than a shooter, right? He's a scorer. There's a lot of people who can shoot, but they can't necessarily score. And I think that his scoring prowess has been on display this year. His favorite player that he told me was Pierre Jackson, and who I just had the pleasure of being around. And, what was Pierre and I were in the gym twice a day when I was an assistant coach at Baylor. And just Pierre was obsessed with basketball. And when he told me that, and the fact that Pierre could do so many other things, and just how he navigated the game and saw it. And I just knew that he was more than a shooter. And I knew we could play him off ball, knew we could play him on ball. I'd be lying if I said that he loves the moment, and he's instinctive in the moment, but he loves the moment. And again, he can make sure that it feeds over to others.
And with TJ, is it just like, can you just the way that he was playing, especially that double overtime, just looked like he was so confident. How much of just the importance of that with him specifically, this first year playing, just just how big of a deal is it when he has that confidence? Can you just kind of tell like he's a different player when he has it?
Yeah, I mean, every player needs confidence, and they have to have belief. And I think for a lot of freshmen, or anytime somebody's in their first year, could be junior college, could be high school, you kind of watch them hit that wall. It's eventually coming. That rut is coming. It's actually one of the first things that we talk about when we talk about development, and I get pretty wonky on them and go through a Stanford psychologist and what development looks like. And I tell them, you're eventually going to be in the pit. Everybody is. You're eventually going to be at a place where you want to quit because you don't know. You just do not have the knowledge and understanding. Not only have you never experienced a game, but you've never experienced a practice, an individual, a weight room. So it's all going to be new to you. And you're going to get to a point to where you say, this is too much for me. And I think when you add on the mental aspects that players have to go through during the course of the season, the film, the meetings, the laborious activities in their mind, they think they're just coming in and they're hooping. And that's not the case. And so they're going to get to the pit. We get through and we tell them, you're going to get there. And some things are going to happen. And they're pretty predictable. But you're going to have to rely on some people. You can either check out and tap out and quit. It's an option. Most people don't. Your older guys will. You know, if you're a senior, you can kind of watch them get disengaged because they just realize that it's not going to happen for me. But I just think that TJ hit a wall, and it happens, and you kind of have to get out of that. Some of that was due to a concussion and not having the energy. Some of it's just mental overload. I will tell you that, to his credit, I think his experience last year of having to sit out an entire year and you're not as mentally engaged, I think that helped him. You know, it helps in your development. And we just talk about that development and how it happens. So we need him to play with confidence. Games like this help. And, you know, we saw an opportunity there to, you know, what in essence just became 2-on-2 basketball, you know, and find him in pick and roll situations, being able to navigate the middle of the floor. But I would tell you, go back to the Tulsa game, the offensive rebound. He gets fouled on an offensive rebound where he gets shot out of a cannon from the right wing. Then he gets a free throw put back, an offensive rebound. Like, that provides the energy. And I think if he continues to do that, you'll see other things. But you have to have the juice first. The thing that happened, the one play that I was really excited about for him is we end up missing a shot, but he goes, right? And we tell him, oh, guys, we won't know unless we go if we can get the ball. And he goes, and he gets checked, and they check him out of bounds. It looks like a hockey hit. And we get free throws out of that simply because he's given the effort that's required in order to put us in a position to win. So just really proud of him and his ability to basically kind of get out of a rut, and because you don't know if players are, and this experience is for him, and you're more happy for players than anything else.
And if he can continue to have success in that ball screen, like how much just gives you another option on offense? Because, you know, Mike and KG can be on that other side and space it. Like, how valuable can that be if TJ can become more of a guy like in that ball screen?
Depends. You know, I think that just because coverages are different, right? You know, I mean, there's 17 different ways to defend a ball screen, and we saw two the other night as it pertained to TJ. So navigating the other 15, that's different, you know. And so you have to kind of get through it. You have to see it. You have to play. You know, sometimes there's people who they just struggle with the blitz and they're great in drop coverage. And then I see vice versa. They know how to navigate a blitz, but they don't know how to navigate drop. So all of that to say, he needs to be on the floor and probably get used to a variety of different coverages and you know what happens when people ice it. You know, what happens when they ice to a blitz or ice to a switch. So all of that, I just think he needs to play more and see more, and he figures things out to his credit.
With Dylan this week against his former team, just a kind of a rare in-conference transfer. I mean, is he excited about the opportunity to play against a place that he was at for a year?
I haven't asked him, so we haven't even brought it up. I think Dylan's excited to play every game, and you know, I don't know if he's added to the scouting report or not. We got back at 3:30 in the morning yesterday, so Thursday we met with the team briefly for 20 minutes yesterday because we couldn't just. I knew how fatigued they were and overloaded they were, so I haven't asked him. Dylan, to his credit, he loves playing basketball. So he forgets our play calls sometimes, so we haven't asked him about Temple's play calls. We've had some players who come in and they remember every single play that the other team has ran. And I don't even know if we've asked Dylan. Coach Polino has done a phenomenal job on this scout. And again, we presented it. We'll go over it here shortly with the guys one more time. But to answer your question, it's a long-winded way to say I don't know.
And then your good friend Jerome Tang, obviously, cut loose at Kansas State. Have you had any conversations with him since Sunday evening?
I have.
What stands out to you about Temple?
Say it again.
What stands out to you about Temple?
Really good guard play. I mean, when you look at Jordan Mason and Darian Ford, their ability to really kind of navigate, and then they have really good wings. I mean, Gavin obviously was Player of the Week in this league. You just look at the pieces that they have, and then they do a phenomenal job of keeping you off the glass. And I mean, you go look at their South Florida win and their ability to make shots and defend, and I just think they don't turn the ball over. They have phenomenal guard play. They have excellent wings. They have bigs that are kind of a force down there. I know people think because undersized from a big category, 6'8", that I think it's Daradolu. Forgive me if I mispronounce his name, which I'm sure I did. But number 11, just like the girth that he provides. And so they do a good job of limiting. And, you know, you have Gavin, who's top 3 in the league in blocking shots at the wing position. And so, I mean, he's top 50 in the country. So they just present a multitude of problems offensively and defensively. And Darian Ford, his ability to go downhill, and I know he's a lefty, but his ability to go downhill right and left presents a problem because you just can't turn around and take away a hand.
And to go back to TJ, using that space that defenses give him because he's not a threat on the three-point line, is that kind of like the ongoing challenge for him to figure out how to use that to his advantage?
Yeah, I mean, and then again, it depends on what they're doing defensively. You know, I mean, the other night we saw drop and we saw switch, and so like, can you see that? You know, can you get in there and make the plays? The more important thing that I thought TJ did was he played under control. You know, if you look at the and one late, it's off of 2 feet. If you look at the dime to Emmanuel Okorafor, it's off of 2 feet. Like sometimes bad players can get sped up. And not only do you have to play under control, like the thing that players don't understand is they think they're more open than they actually are, just because there's pieces moving behind them and out of their peripheral. And so you have to have a power base. He has a power base. Like, it's not just playing off of 2 feet. It's having a base to where you have some level of explosion and decision-making ability. So you go back to the fact that he looks fresh this time of year, and that's important. And then at the same time, he's got decision-making ability, has ball handling ability at his size. We just have to continue to get him to play more with a power base and under control, and I thought he did that the other night.
Then, like, big picture wise, you know, obviously it's tough to win on the road, and you guys will take them however they get, but like big picture, was that like up to the standard that you wanted from the team, or is that something where you watch the film and it's like, man, we have to be better next time?
I mean, you always think you have to be better, but you realize that, that's a good team. I watched, I think it was St. John's go into Marquette the other night and struggle. And they were able to pull one out. I think Creighton goes into UConn and wins. And you just realize that this is conference. I don't think we faced anybody. I know Jordan Riley hadn't shot more than 30 shots all year. He shot 37 of them the other night. And that's a tough cover. He does not stop until he gets to his spots. And I actually thought we did a halfway decent job. 16 of 37 from the field is not awful. But you realize just how good he is. And then Gio, as you saw in the first bucket of the game, this is not a small dude. He just played through Emmanuel Okorafor. So they're all different. They're all hard. I don't think you ever play to like, man, that's as good as you're going to play. But, you've heard me say this before. We're not going to overreact. Let's find a way to win a basketball game. Let's do the things necessary that are required to, and you march forward. This is basketball. This isn't football. You don't have 11 guys, and you know what? You may win. Hey, you may win 7 spots. The other team may win 4. This is 2 guys on the court who are good can really, really make a difference. And again, they have good players. To go to FAU to beat them, we weren't able to do that. To go to Rice, we weren't able to beat them at home. They went to Rice and win by 10. So I think I get it. People just look at some numbers, and they're totally unfamiliar with the team and the play. So, yeah, I'm proud of our guys.
So when you reach late February and there's so much to play for, practices feel different? Is it easier to get the guys' attention? Does anything change as you get to this point in the calendar?
I don't think so. There's probably a lot more mental than physical. And reminded, Dave Odom told me this a long time ago. And he said, never forget that legs feed the wolves. And I've always remembered that. And I remember when we started adopting that philosophical approach at Baylor, we weren't very good our first 4 years. Year 5, we went to the NCAA tournament, but when you're on half the death penalty, you're probably not going to be very good for a while. But I remember when we started winning and going to second weekends of March and being in contention for conference championships, just really, really learned that lesson. So I think it's more mental than physical, but the physical has to be intense. So I thought the practice prior to us going to East Carolina was good, and it's usually 90 minutes, an hour to 90 minutes of like, how intense can we make it, and to do so also without getting guys hurt. So there's a balance there. Thanks, guys.